The chaos and disorder witnessed during the presidential visit were not merely spontaneous occurrences, but rather the culmination of systemic failures in security governance and administration exacerbated by deliberate action of certain county officials. These issues demand immediate national attention. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is documented evidence, including a leaked video showing top county political leadership actively mobilizing individuals to cause disruptions. In Garbatula, the governor openly threatened to mobilize 5,000 people and promised that he termed brimstone fire against leaders opposing him. Credible reports are linking certain political figures to the drug trade, with suspiciously amazing wealth being used to sponsor political chaos and buy influences. Families are watching helplessly as their children fall victim to the addiction, while those mandated to protect them shielded the drug traffickers instead. Inspector General of Police conduct a complete overhaul of Isiolo County security apparatus to restore law and order to ensure public trust in institutions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make statement on a matter of county-wide concern, namely the troubling events that transpired during His Excellency the President's recent visit to Isiolo County on Thursday, 6th February 2025, and the broader deterioration of governance and security in the county. Mr. Speaker, the chaos and disorder witnessed during the presidential visit were not merely spontaneous occurrences, but rather the culmination of systemic failures in security governance and administration exacerbated by deliberate action of certain county officials. These issues demand immediate national attention. Mr. Speaker, sir, first, I must address the glaring security lapses that characterized the visit. The security administration demonstrated inexcusable negligence in maintaining order despite clear intelligence warnings of impending chaos. Their failures to act on available intelligence and implement proper crowd control measures raises serious questions about their competence and impartiality. The preparation for the presidential visit by the county leadership and administration was shrouded in unprecedented secrecy, deliberately orchestrated to exclude legitimate stakeholders' participation. The governor of Isiolo, in a calculated move to maintain absolute control, micromanaged every aspect of the presidential schedule and programming. This turned what should have been an inclusive engagement into his political platform. Local leaders were deliberately kept in the dark about program details until the last minute. Even more disturbing was the top county security administration denials knowledge about the planned engagement, despite clear evidence of behind-the-scene coordination with the governor. The obstruction denied local leadership and community representatives their right to engage the president on pressing security and governance concerns that demand national government intervention. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is documented evidence, including a leaked video showing top county political leadership actively mobilizing individuals to cause disruptions. In Garbatula, the governor openly threatened to mobilize 5,000 people and promised that he termed brimstone fire against leaders opposing him. This threat materialized during the president's visit, where several leaders, including myself, first orchestrated heckling. Even the president himself was not spared from this organized disorder. What is particularly disturbing is the blatant selective application of justice following the event. Known individuals with documented ties to the county leadership continue to roam freely despite their clear role in orchestrating the disruptions. These individuals operate under the protection of the governor's office and remain untouchable by security agencies. Meanwhile, innocent youths, including border operators, have been arbitrarily arrested and charged with flimsy accusation of public disorder. This targeted harassment of innocent citizens while the real perpetrators enjoy impunity exemplifies the extent to which our local justice system has been compromised. Mr. Speaker, the county political figures who enjoy the state security protection have abused these privileges by deploying security officers to harass, intimidate, and bully Isiolo residents who oppose their leadership instead of protecting all citizens. Equally, these officers have been turned into instruments of political suppression, silencing dissenting voices through arbitrary arrest, threats, and coercion. This blatant abuse of power has created an environment of fear where citizens are hesitant to exercise their democratic rights, further deepening the governance crisis in Isiolo County. Mr. Speaker, the Isiolo County leadership has also orchestrated an artificial show of public support through a coordinated deception campaign in individuals, both elderly and youth, who are on the county payroll, are routinely paraded before the media to issue scripted press statements. This same tactic was used even during the Senate Committee Oversight visit to Isiolo. These orchestrated press conferences follow a predictable pattern where legitimate concerns about governance are raised, and these individuals deflect blame from the governor and attempt to delegitimize genuine grievances. Their purpose is not to address substantive issues, but to attack those who speak truth to power and create a false narrative about the real situation in Isiolo. Mr. Speaker, this manipulation of public perception through financial inducements and staged endorsement is nothing short of political deception aimed at evading accountability. Beyond political intimidation, Isiolo County faces systemic security failures that endanger lives and livelihoods. Cattle rustling, a life and death issue for our pastoralist communities, has been grossly mismanaged. Security officers demand bribes from victims before conducting operations, exposing entrenched corruption within security apparatus. Even more alarming, while these security officers delay responding to cattle raids, they quickly protect Jeshi Alami, a local urban gang that terrorizes residents opposing the county leadership. This selective deployment of security resources shows the law enforcement has been compromised and is being used against the people rather than for them. Mr. Speaker, Isiolo County is also witnessing an alarming rise in drug trafficking, with narcotics being sold openly in broad daylight. This is not just a small-scale substance abuse, but an organized, well-protected operation. Credible reports are linking certain political figures to the drug trade, with suspiciously amazing wealth being used to sponsor political chaos and buy influences. Families are watching helplessly as their children fall victim to the addiction, while those mandated to protect them shielded the drug traffickers instead. This toxic alliance between drug money and political power has eroded legitimate governance and compromised public institutions. I call upon investigative agencies to conduct a thorough probe into the suspicious wealth of those political actors and their potential links to drug trade. Mr. Speaker, a particularly egregious incident occurred the weekend after the president's visit. Senate oversight staff employed by the Senate and attached to my office were arbitrarily arrested and detained under fabricated charges of mobilizing goons and creating public disturbances. The irony is undeniable. While county officials were caught on video organizing 5,000 people to cause chaos, it is oversight staff under my office who are thrown into the cells without bond. This clearly exposes the arrest for what they indeed are: deliberate efforts to obstruct Senate oversight functions and intimidate those holding the county government accountable. Mr. Speaker, sir, given the gravity of these matters, I stand before this Senate to request that you direct that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission investigate the suspicious wealth fueling political unrest and insecurity in Isiolo County. Number 2, National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse investigate the drug trade in Isiolo County and its links to local political network. Number 3, Inspector General of Police conduct a complete overhaul of Isiolo County security apparatus to restore law and order to ensure public trust in institutions. Mr. Speaker, sir, Isiolo County is at a dangerous crossroads. An immediate intervention is imperative. We cannot allow corrupt political forces to undermine governance, security, and the rule of law. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Dullo. Senator Dullo, in your statement, you have tasked me to do some work, to contact EACC, to do security overhaul. So I directed that the Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations to engage that statement so that we can see how to assist Isiolo County. Once it is constituted, don't mind, it will be a pending work. Yes.